Hello. Oh my god, my voice. Hmm. Hello. Oh my, it's still not here, but okay. Hi, good night, good evening. How is everyone today? So we are going to continue playing Cinderella and Evermore. This time we are going for Fritzgerald and doing the good ending first and then the bad ending. So that's what we are doing today. I'm going to try and do like 2 to 3 chapters and then we'll see. So let's just switch and go. Oh my god, it's starting good, huh? Where am I? Oh, I'm there. Rose. And that is why, on this day, I am stepping down from my honorable position as commander of the Order of Caldera. Wait. He ended up being the commander? I don't remember. Fritz is standing on a small podium erected just outside the front gate, his expression somber as he gazes at a large gathering of knights. He has already given his resignation speech to the majority of the lower-ranking knights. This one is just for ceremony purposes. I stand at the edge of the gate, arms crossed as I watch the proceedings. My heart ought to be filled with hope, but I am more anxious than I have been in years. I cannot shake the feeling that Fritz is doing this because of me. It has been 2 years since Fritzgerald Island Leverton, my personal knight, was promoted to the position of commander. Father bestowed the title and responsibility upon him after seeing how I acted during the crisis with Mother. So we are 20 here, okay. Fritz possessed the required skill and ability to lead, even if he did sometimes require my assistance on account of his initial clumsiness. The new responsibilities pulled Fritz away from me. It has been like this for nearly 2 years, even though the two of us see each other when we can. They say distance makes the heart grow fonder, but in this case, I stare hard at Fritz. There is nothing soft about the look on his face. That is why it is an honor for me to promote Julian Valiant, my second in command, to head commander. I expect you to treat her with the same respect you have shown me. Oh wait, I just realized something. Garland is dead. Glory is dead. Parfait killed herself. This is the saddest one. Oh my god. Julian moves forward to stand beside him when he gestures. To Fritzgerald. A flicker of a smile passes over Fritz's face. Sir is a little stiff, don't you think? Julian smiles at him. There is a subtle sadness in her eyes, though I cannot imagine why. I can, Garland is not here anymore. Garland is dead. He died before the ending in the previous game. Hi Dart, how are you? Thank you for the lurk. Fritz was our personal knight. He didn't appear that much before, because what happened in the previous game. Julian smiled at me. Why? The proceedings go on for some time after that. It is only when the ceremony has drawn to a close that I head back to the palace for one of my mandatory lessons. I am relieved when my tutor dismisses me earlier. Maybe now I will be able to catch Fritz. I'm on my way to the palace gates when I stop, noticing Fritz and Julian at the end of the corridor. The minute Fritz sees me, his lips pull back into a gentle smile. Princess, I was wondering when you appeared. Good afternoon, Princess Tiviana. I pressed the wrong key. Good afternoon, Julian Valiente, commander of the Order of Caldera. Julian laughs. It still sounds like such a mouthful. It's shorter than Lieutenant Commander of the Order of Caldera, at least. A fair point. I hope you know I'll still be asking for your advice every now and then, Fritz. I hope you don't mind. Of course not. It's the least I can do do after putting this responsibility on you so suddenly. But now, no titles, no obstructions, right? She smiles at the two of us. You two have all the time in the world to spend together. Or a lot more of it in any case. She pauses to look between us. May I ask you something? Of course. Being able to be with the princess isn't the only reason you resigned, isn't it? What makes you say that? Before I can react, Fritz wraps an arm around my waist and pulls me closer. The princess has always been my top priority. The words are accompanied by a mischievous grin. I'm equally stunned and embarrassed. Tyrion stares between the two of us with wide eyes. That smile looks a lot like Varg's smile. When Fritz sees her expression, he pulls his arm away with a laugh. Sorry, princess, sometimes I just can't help teasing. These little comments of Fritz have become more common over the past 2 years. I believe, more than anything, that he speaks like this more often now because he is more comfortable around me. You two really have changed, haven't you? Both of you. I know that she's right, but she is looking primarily at Fritz when she says it. But was the princess really the only reason, Fritz? So Fritz continues to smile. I can see something switch in his expression. I have known him long enough to see behind this confident facade. Oh my god, I can't have my Mickey here. I'm sorry. You are hurting me, please. I can now read Fritz's emotions from his small gestures. No, it is not the only reason. I think back to the cheering crowds and the agitated townfolks. I remember the way people protested Fritz's promotion to commander because of his previous involvement with Mother. I can still remember what they called him out on the streets. A wolf wearing a man's skin, a spy, a traitor. But Fritz only smiles. Sure, there were other reasons, but being with the princess has always been the most important. I missed being her personal knight. Tyrion eyes him skeptically for a few moments, but in the end, she only shakes her head and smiles. I'm glad for the two of you then. She excuses herself after that, explaining that she has a speech to prepare as a newly promoted commander. The moment she leaves, the corridor becomes quiet. I look up at Fritz, wondering if I ought to apologize for being one of the reasons he had to step down, or I should congratulate him on his new freedom. So, thinking back on how Fritz is from the previous game, and kinda also because I don't think neither of the guys want us to apologize for their caring about ourselves. So I think that's the wrong one. Apologize to him. Fritz looks at me startled. Why are you apologizing to me? Because the reason you had to resign in the first place. He says he resigned for me, but there is still also the reputation he had. The reason he is so mistrusted in the first place is because of me. If I hadn't brought Mother back 2 years ago, he would not be in this predicament. Fritz places a hand on my shoulder. You don't need to apologize, princess, but I'm surprised when he puts a finger on my lips and leans toward me. You need to stop apologizing. I told you before, everything I did 2 years ago, I did to protect you. Everything I did of my own volition. I don't know what that means. When I was cursed, I fought for you, even when I was only a shadow of myself, and I am proud of that. I cannot help but remember that other side of him when he says that. The masked personality with the snarky smile and the sardonic words. As much as Fritz likes to pretend that part of him never existed, it is impossible not to see it now. The more comfortable he becomes with me, the more I see that other side of him. So I was right! That smile earlier looked a lot like Varg's smile, teasing smile. Please, princess, no more apologizing. Fine. In that case, congratulations? Fritz steps back with a smile. Thank you. Anyway, with this resignation, I am finally unleashed myself from the order. His gaze seems unfocused when he looks away, almost like he is remembering something. I'm never going to let anyone else rule my life ever again. Fritz? His expression softens when he looks at me. It's nothing. Is Var coming back? Is Var coming back? I'm all yours now, princess. Well, almost. But first, I have something I need to do. Cares to tag along? I smile when he holds out his arm. I do not mind the stares we get from the passing servants as I loop my arm around his and lean on his shoulder. By all means, lead on. The two of us make our way to the throne room together. Just as expected, the king is waiting for us. He has already cleared his schedule to make time for his personal audience with Fritz. If the two of you are both here, I am going to assume that the ceremony has come to a close. Fritz releases my arm to duck into a bow. That is correct, Your Majesty. I am no longer with the Order of Caldera. All that remains is for me to return to the required documents and declarations of my position. Father looks at Fritz thoughtfully, then he smiles. I would like to personally thank you for your dedication to this kingdom, Sir Fritzgerald. I apologize for having the responsibility of commander onto you when you were still so young. Fritz's lips twitch. I look at him quizzically, not entirely certain if I was imagining the scowl on his face. No apologies are necessary, Your Majesty. It was, and has always been, an honor to serve Angel. It was an honor to have a man as dedicated and committed as you leading the order. Now, hi Kobe, how are you? Thank you for that, pet. Father stands surprising us both. Though I am afraid it will not be as grand as knighting you with a sword. I would insist that I reward you for all your hard work. Is that about football again? No, the salt isn't here. I don't know where he is. I only talked to Shoko today. But I don't think either of them are here though. From this day forward, I bestow upon you the title of Lord. I would also give you a stretch of land. You might do with it whatever you desire. Yeah, Kobe's here. Fritz shifts on his feet. His fidgeting is a sure sign he has something he wants to say. The king seems to notice. What say you, Sir Fritzgerald? Okay, enjoy the yourself, not the Kobe. Enjoy. What am I going to buy next time I go to grocery? I had something in mind, something that I was missing. What was it? Oh yeah, I'm going to get cocoa powder for the milk when I when I go next to the grocery shop. The grocery store. There was also something else. I don't recall what. I know that every time I arrive home, I'm just like, crap, I forgot. I don't remember what it is. Maybe more tissues because mine are ending. Maybe tissue. I require no lands, Your Majesty. I still have my father's manor. But if I may be so bold, I would like to make a request. I hate forgetting something at the store. That is why I do lists. Then, lately, it's been kind of impossible to do lists. Maybe. A request? Fritz and I share a glance. Oh? Is he going to ask to court us? State your request, Sir Fritzgerald. Fritzgerald falls to one knee and bows his head. Your Majesty, I humbly request that I will be allowed to publicly court your daughter, Princess Viviana. I knew it! Sorry. This news seems to take father aback. I stare at him confused. But he already knows that Fritz and I love each other. Why is this surprise? Father lowers himself to his throne once again. His movements oddly stiff. Fritz still bends to one knee, his head ducked in deference. The room is eerily silent. When no one rises to meet the challenge of the quiet, I clear my throat and speak first. Father? I apologize. When Fritz looks up at this, Your Majesty? I give you my blessing, Sir Fritzgerald. You are more than free to court my daughter. It is her decision whom she chooses, after all. However, Father's expression falls. I know what he is going to say before he even says it, and it makes my heart sink. Public opinion is not so easily swayed. There is no doubt in my mind that your displays of affection will be criticized. Father tilts his head towards me. You understand my meaning, Diviana? As loath as I am to admit it, I do. There is a fragile balance in our kingdom right now. The magic that once existed is now completely gone. Oh yeah, this is the only ending that there is no magic. The witches and even some of the fairies blame me for its loss. Winning over the humans has already been difficult enough, though most of the townfolks in Angiel are now courteous to me. Many of them still do not trust me. And Fritz? Many people still believe he is to blame for many of Mother's atrocities, despite the things he's done to make up for it. They still choose to blame him, even knowing he was cursed the entire time. There would undoubtedly be rumors if the two of us publicly courted. Also, Colby, I saw your message on your server because of your stream schedule, and I was like, so many football reference. What the heck am I reading? I'll make them trust me. Fritz raises and stares demently at the king. I have been dedicated to this kingdom ever since. I became a knight, and I still am. And I still am. You know nothing, huh? Huh? Sure, sure. Showing your true Tuga self, huh? That will never change, not even if I... He falters, but only briefly. My point is that Princess Diviana and I have been trying to make things right since Ilder passed. Our own efforts to find happiness should not be thwarted by the people we were trying to help. We have changed, Sir Fritzgerald. I remember your gentleness from when I first knighted you. Even now, you wear a smile on your face in trying times. You remain dedicated to our kingdom, even when it is broken and ailing. You still smile, but now you smile with confidence. You have my blessing, Sir Fritzgerald, so long as you have my daughters. Remember that I said to you, I have bestowed upon you the title of Lord. No one, not even the nobles, can look down on you. Hold your head proud. He turns to me. The same goes to you, Diviana. I appreciate your reminder. I shall know that love knows no boundaries. He smiles fondly, and I can tell he is thinking of Ophelia. A small pain echoes somewhere inside my heart, but it feels misplaced and distant. Wounds of my past may still hurt, but they are healing. Our conversation with father does not last much longer. After speaking briefly on some technical process Fritz must now undergo to obtain his new title, the king excuses us from the throne room. Outside in the hallway, Fritz seems equal parts relieved and deflated. I was expecting to come. Also, Kobe, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you. I was expecting to come out of this feeling lighter, but father's concerns will continue to weigh on me. Fritz forces a smile on his face. He is always good at making it seem as if he's fine, even when I know that he must be hurting on the inside. Well, that went better than I expected. Fritz. He grabs my hands and plants a kiss on my forehead. I think I'm going to attend to those obligations the king mentioned. I still need to return some documents and my armor, but after that, I will make sure I am available to you for the rest of the day. He squeezes my hand. Perhaps we could even spend tonight together. I was thinking about a night out in town, but your thought seems to be on other things. Oh my god. He raises an expectant eyebrow. I was not expecting this starting so early. This is only chapter 1. What the heck is happening with the secret routes here? When I nudge him in the shoulders, the cocky grin fades from his face and is replaced by a smile that shows his innocence. I am beginning to wonder if maybe he wears that innocence like a shield. Anyway, I will be back later. Let's meet up in your room in 2 hours' time. He starts to bow, but then suddenly stops, realizing he no longer needs to. Instead, he smiles at me one last time before turning and heading in the direction of the commander's office. He might try to hide it. Oh my god, my voice. He might try to hide it, but I can tell he is also distressed by what the king said. curious about one thing. Is Cine appearing though in these routes? Because there is no need for a Lucy's bearer in these routes. Is going to do his appearance? Maybe I can buy him something in town. Something that will cheer him up. Oh my god, I'm just thinking, Laura. Remembering Laura's death is what makes me sad the most. Like, Garland was just... How do I describe it? I'm not finding words in English. Garland's death just happened in a really sadistic way, because it was really well elaborated. It was to like destroy as well Jordan and his side. Like from this we could see that Jordan is still really hurt by the fact that Garland died and they could never tell each other that they liked each other and start the relationship that we see in other routes. So like, it destroyed Jordan inside, and it totally killed Garland in a really, really slow and strategic way. So for me that was really sadistic. That was like the most cruel and cold death. But Laura is just... the amount of effort that Laura did to change us, all the things that we get from Laura from the past, and how she is literally like our godmother, and involvement, and literally this being a revenge from our mother to Laura, because Laura was one of the witches that stood up to her since the beginning. And killing her daughter didn't stop her. It's just like really, really cold as well, but really, really hurtful to all of us. And then there is Parfait that did just like the ultimate sacrifice. It's just like, oh my god, this is the saddest one. I don't know what I'm going to hold. Maybe I can buy him something in town, something that will cheer him up. Okay. I feel exhausted just by this. If I remember correctly, from the previous game, something that we shared a lot with Fritz, that Fritz shared with us and wanted to show us around, was pastries. And I think I remember him talking specifically about croissant. So I think tea is the wrong one because of that. Kobe, I said that I'm mad at you and you didn't react, and now you just go like Nutella ice cream. Did you got Nutella ice cream? We have some tea at the palace, but the flavors Fritz prepares at home are not in our kitchen. Fritz often requests servants bring tea to his room, but perhaps if I prepare a cup of his favorite tea on my own, it would be more special. Bobby, are you listening even? I nod my head, silently feeling resolute, and then head to the palace gates. Uh-huh, yeah, right. Did this just... Okay. Though I am not as familiar with the tea shops around NGL, I am confident in my choice of tea. I buy Fritz something simple and fragrant. Didn't buy anything yet. Thank you for the hydration on the strap. I'm really thinking what is the thing that I'm missing. It does not escape me that many of the people around me notice the nights, standing not too far away watching me silently. No. I was like, a screw, what? Oh no. I think if it's not food, it's like some kind of gel or thing. Like, I don't remember. I know I need tissues and dollars because they are always really helpful to have in hand here, especially when I'm doing crafts. And I forgot the food that I said earlier. I said the food earlier that I was missing. Oh no, cocoa powder. I'm missing these three. But I'm missing something else and I don't remember. Yeah, Nesquik or cocoa to put on. A cocoa? No, that's Coca-Cola's. Cola-Cow, that's the thing. Cacao latte is Coca-Cola's chocolate milk. It's Nesquik. It's Nesquik. Oh my god. It's Nesquik or Cola-Cow. It's what is on discount. Not Bully Cow. Cola-Cow, the powder for the milk to make it chocolate milk. I haven't eaten Bully Cow since like December when they were like, oh yeah, we earned this earlier. Oh boy. Some people smile at me, but most divert their attention not out of fear, but out of some deep-rooted awkwardness. Also, I can't spend that much now, Kobe. I need to organize myself. More often than not, I feel out of place in my own kingdom. A feeling has lasted over time, but no amount of interaction can make the discomfort disappear completely. Once the tea has been packaged, I take the bag in my hands and walk away out of the bakery, nights in Tao. I sigh with relief as I come out in the small space. Relieved to be back in the town plaza, where things are more spacious. Please sleep, take a nap, rest, I don't know. I don't think you should stream if you're sleepy, because from personal experience, it may not end well. I had already to end some streams because Sleepy D was starting to take over. And Sleepy is concerned that this is not for everyone. Oh, I just realized something. Oh, I'm screwed. Thank you for that, pet. I sighed with relief as I come out the small, spacious woman smiles as she passes me by. Good afternoon, Your Highness. I'm not missed. I said It's just because I promised myself something, and when it happened, I will be screwed. Just realized that things are going to happen. She curtsies. Because I'm not missed, believe me. Good afternoon. She has already walked off by the time I respond. Most of the townfolk, while polite, are still quiet around me. They still prefer speaking with Emmeline in the road. What can I do to make them trust me? What can I do to heal Angel? Why are you... Frenchy fry? What? I understand nothing. The two knights trail behind me as I begin to walk back to my carriage. I prefer having it parked in an inconspicuous area, in inconspicuous areas, so that I'm forced to walk around and speak to the townfolks. I hope it makes me seem more approachable. I'm still lost in my thoughts when we come into an emptier part of the plaza, and someone abruptly steps into my path. I take a step back immediately. The knights behind me are at my side in a heartbeat. Oh, good luck. Oh, I apologize. The same woman I just passed. Was she headed in this direction? There's no need to apologize. I'm afraid I wasn't watching where I was going. Is she robbing us? I'm shocked when a mischievous smile appears at her lips. I'm so fixated on her face I barely register the sound of shattering glass at my feet. A waft of mist suddenly rises from the ground, making it impossible for me to see anything. Princess! The knight's voice comes from behind me. I feel him grab at my arm. No, wait. This hand is ungloved. I try to pull away, but to no avail. A second stronger hand grips on my other arm, pulling me away from the knights and through the mist. Robbing us or kidnapping us? My eyes are teary as the strangers pull me away from the area. I struggle to clear my thoughts as we emerge into an alley. When I look up, I see a woman from earlier. A man stands beside her, arms crossed. That was a little too easy. Honorable Knights of Caldera? Seems that we can still get the better of them, even without magic or witches. These people are... They turn to look at me. Hello, Princess Iviana. What is the meaning of this? You really can't guess, little Miss Princess. The man looks at me with surprising calmness. We're taking you hostage. What? Don't try anything funny. We don't want to hurt you, but we will if we need to. I glare at the two of them. What is it that you threw back there? Miss Potion, one of the last left in Angel. Wilmer calls at me. As you know, there is no more potion making. not in a world where magic no longer exists. Some of others thought we ought to make you pay for taking away our magic. We're of the opinion that this would be cruel. You should be grateful for that. What do you plan on doing with me? You'll be staying with us for a little while until we can decide on a ransom price. If you can't make gold selling our potions, we'll just have to get it some other way. This is cowardly. I'm startled when the woman slaps my face. I step back, eyes wide. I thought we said... The woman silences the man with a glare. She turns back to me. What would a little girl like you know of our pain? Lady Hilder was going to make this a place for all of us witches to thrive. Instead, because of your meddling, magic is gone forever. And not only that, but the humans who know we are witches still ostracize us, making it impossible for us to get jobs. A spoiled princess like yourself, who has not even tried to bridge that divide, has no business telling us what is cowardly. I've been too busy trying to mend this kingdom as a whole. I've been trying to gain the people's trust. I had thought that with magic gone, there would be no more reason for anyone to hate witches. And yet, this discrimination still exists. The partners usher me forward. When I do not come willingly, the man grabs my arms and pulls me along with him to begin to traverse a series of complicated alleyways that led deeper and deeper into the town. It almost feels like a labyrinth. The sky darkens into crimson, then a deep purple as we move further into the alleyways. I was meant to meet Fritz hours ago. Thinking about Fritz makes me think of rescue, and on the nights that were separated from me. Do the knights even know about these alleys? I stop abruptly. I must do something. Don't have the luxury of stopping now, princess. Not unless you want to try our patience. The woman makes some dismissive gesture at a man and he nods his head before walking through the alley ahead of us. Where is he going? None of your business. The woman pulls a iron dagger from her sleeve and holds it to my neck. What the heck? She lots. Alfred's parafusos. I don't think his absence gives you any sort of advantage. I don't know. If we run, we have the chance to bump into Fritz or any other knights. But if we speak, they can hear us as well. But she has a weapon on our throat. So if we run, we may kill ourselves. Let's go with that one. The dagger is my first and final warning. I must escape while I can still remember the way back. She's wrong. Now that she's alone, I do have an advantage. Before the woman can sink her dagger in any further, I will feint away from her knife and step on her foot. She gasps and lashes out with the dagger, but she is too slow. Her moment of existence gives me enough time to run. I can hear the woman calling to the man, but I ignore their voices and focus on the space directly in front of me. If the knights cannot find this place, then I'll find my own way out. I turn at the bend of the alleyway and keep running. No sooner have I turned the corner that I bump into someone. Somehow both of us manage to keep ourselves upright. I stumble back when I feel hands on my shoulders, but then pause, recognizing the face in front of me. I knew it! Princess! Both of us turn at the same time to see the man and the woman approaching from the end of the hallway. They stop when they notice Fritz. Fritz glances at me. Princess, are you unarmed? Yeah, I am. He offers me a tight-lipped smile before turning his attention back to the kidnappers. Memorize their faces. No matter how far you run, I'll track you down. Ha! A personal hunting dog, are we? Those are big words for a knight who does nothing but take orders. Oh? I'm surprised when Fritzgerald is played. He has no need to wear the scabbards at his side now that he has given up his title. And yet, here he is carrying a sword. In a heartbeat, he has the tip pointed at the man's neck. Allow me to enlighten you. If they are hurt, nothing will change. Please let them go. Fritz? Fritz puts his fingers onto his lips and releases a shrill whistle. The dark spaces in the alleyway, which I had presumed to be empty, suddenly fill with knights. Did Fritz let them here? Anyone who puts the princess in danger is to be captured on sight. Fritz pulls back his sword, eyes narrowed. The knights need no further signal. Two of them rush through to grab the man and the woman from behind. Fritz watches his gaze cold. Eventually, once the kidnappers have been contained, he turns to me with a gentle, if not tired, smile. Are you sure you're okay, princess? I am fine, Fritz. Those two were witches, or they used to be. They wanted to capture me and demand a ransom from the king. They weren't very tactful, were they? I watch as the knights take the former witches away. Both glare at me as they are led down to the hallway. Before they might have fought back with magic, now they have nothing. Princess? Whoops. I feel Fritz's hand on my shake. Come on, let's go. We'll need to report this incident to Julian. I turn to Fritz as the two of us are walking out of the alleyway. How did you find me? Practice. I'm a good tracker, princess. When you weren't in your room, I went looking for you. The knights reported that you'd left the palace earlier, so I went searching for you in town. Fritz frowns. But I had no idea how worried I was when they told me you've been captured. I ought to have reprimanded them for losing you so easily. If I was still there, Commander, I would have... Fritz stops himself and shakes his head. What were you doing out in town? I hold up the bag with a faint smile. I thought I would buy some tea for us to share later. Fritz's expression softens when he lays his eyes on the bag. You bought tea, princess? That's so thoughtful of you. He reaches for the bag, but I hide it behind my back before he can grab it. It was meant to be a surprise, and I still intend to be it for it to be. You'll have to wait to see what flavor it is. Fritz laughs, and the joy seems to shake some of the stress from his shoulders. It is relieving to see him smile. I look forward to it then. Anyway, it looks like the day turned out to be far more eventful than any of us planned for. a smile fades from his face. I'm sorry, princess. Do not need to apologize, Fritz. You still ended up saving me in the end. Had I been armed, I may have been able to protect myself. I may not have needed to be rescued. I sighed to myself. I doubt the knights would give me a sword when I have not been trained to use one. I'm so happy that Karma is next, because with Karma we learned how to fight. We learn how to use a sword. Is there nothing I can do to protect myself? Don't I have an image? After explaining the situation to both Julian and my father, I am finally allowed to return to my room. The first thing I do is collapse onto my bed with a sigh. I wanted to prepare something for Fritz tonight, but I am exhausted and it is late. Treating him is the last thing I want to do. I sit up long enough to stuff the tea bag into one of my drawers before planting my head on one of the pillows. I'm sorry, Fritz. I've been laying down for long when a knock sounds on the door. Viviana, come in. I sit up as Fritz enters the room. He's smiling his usual smile, but he does not seem to be trying very hard to hide the tiredness in his eyes. I pat the space on the bed beside me. Are you okay, Fritz? Right as rain? He's mostly definitely not. He slides onto the bed beside me and slowly, almost accidentally, settles an arm around my waist, pulling me closer. I'm just relieved to know that we got to you today before the situation got any worse, princess. It's... You don't have to call me by my title anymore, you know? He had to do as a knight of Caldera, but he is no longer a knight. I'm relieving you of the responsibility. Fritz laughs sheepishly. Some habits die hard. There is a moment of silence between the two of us. I note the telltale tension in his body and stifle outside. I made him worry today. I had been able to escape earlier. I may not have needed anyone's assistance. It occurs to me that this is not the first time I have limited my inability to fight back. As a princess, my life is technically always in danger. Knowing how to defend myself would be extremely helpful. I close my eyes and frown, unable to stop my thoughts from floating into familiar faces. All of them gone now. Now gone. Oh no! Girl, Flora, Orphe. I still believe I would have been able to save them had I made wiser decisions. I know how to fight back. I do not want anyone else to get hurt because of my own weakness. Right? Diviana? Fritz pulls a strand to loose hair away from my face. May I ask you for some advice, Fritz? Of course, anything. I'd like some means of protecting myself. Fritz furrows on his eyebrows. Diana, next time you go out, I'll make sure to be with you. Fritz, I want to be able to protect myself. Fritz looks at me quietly. Then, much to my surprise, he smiles, if not a little grimly. I don't have much advice, but I do have this. Points to his wrist. I turn to watch, in awe, as he slides a dagger out of his sleeve. He hands it to me. We got the weapon! Oh yeah, Kobe, did you saw what I sent to you? Though? It is forbidden for knights to carry concealed weapons. The town folks must always be able to see what the knights carry. Wait a minute. Cozy, you changed it! Hi. I was like, wait a minute. Oh wait, I need to do the old shout out. I need to change the also thank you for the and redeems. I need to change. Yeah, cozy. Come on. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, that's adorable. So hydration check. Wait. Just hydrate. Why did I stretch? The townsfolk must always be able to see what the knights carry. The rule was implemented a few years ago, soon after the chaos that befell in jail. All those granted the right to carry weapons must carry them out in the open. It is our way of building trust with the denizens of the kingdom. Much to my surprise, Fritz grins at me. I'm not a knight anymore, am I? The expression fades as he puts his finger to the flat surface of the blade. Cannot help but stare at the elaborated design on the hilt. It is beautiful. I want to see the blade. Where did you get this? It belonged to my mother a long time ago. His mother had a dagger! I love that woman. Fritz has barely spoken of his mother. All I know about her is that she died when Fritz was very young. My father gave it to her as a gift. She wanted it for the same reasons you did. Suddenly, his expression is melancholic. He tips his head and frowns. Fritz, you do not need to speak about her if you do not wish to. No, it's not that, it's just... I just remembered that's the day my mother died. She didn't have this dagger with her. I've had it for a long time, but I never started keeping it on me until... Voice fades. The flicker of gloom in his eyes tells me that he's remembering the events of 2 years ago. Wait, is it a dagger that Varg threatened killed himself when Parfait stopped him? But I have tried to block out many of my memories from that time. I cannot forget the dagger Fritz once pointed at his own throat. It was a dagger he kept hidden on his sleeve. The dagger Varg used to threaten us. It is that Varg. It is that dagger, okay. Well, I've had it for a while, but now it's yours. Keep it just in case I can't be there. The last thing I want is for you to be in any danger. I look down at the dagger, contemplating. I'd like to learn how to use it. A weapon is useful only when you know how to wield it. Of course, I'll be more than happy to teach you when I have some time on my hands. He nails sharply. I stare in alarm as panic flits across his face. Fritz? Nothing, princess. I still have to give my detailed report, but I promise I'll be free tomorrow morning. He walks through the door, but then pauses and glances back at me. Viviana, I love you, and I'm glad I can say that without worrying about anything getting in the way. I love you too, Fritz, with all my heart. The two of us exchange smiles before he walks out the front door. Once I am alone, my eyes return to the beautiful dagger in my lap. It feels like Fritz has given me a part of himself, but I cannot get this early distress out of my mind. The dagger is a comfort. It also feels foreboding, like it might be the trigger to something ominous. I hide it away in one of my drawers before falling back on my bed. It takes me a long time to fall asleep at that night. Right as rain. What does that mean? And they both sat there, grown up, yet children at heart. And it was summer, warm, beautiful summer. When I reached the end of the fairy tale, I stopped to look down at the pages thoughtful. I'm not sure how I felt about this one. I snapped the book shut and gazed into the cover quietly. The Snow Queen is one of Emmeline's fairy tales. She just recently received it for her birthday and allowed me to borrow it for my reading sessions. I turned my attention to the gravestone I am sitting in front of. Though the sky is dark, the inscription on the grave is illuminated by my lantern. It is Laura's name. I knew it. I hope that you and Gloria enjoy the fairy tale at least. I've been reading at these grave sites for the last 4 months. Originally, I only came here to set flowers on the graves, but then Fritz suggested I try speaking to everyone. I was skeptically at first, but it turns out that reading helps lighten my mood. When I am here, I like to imagine Laura and her daughter listening to the fairy tales as I read them aloud. Something soft lands on my head. I am stopped to gaze at the sky. A single droplet makes its way down to the leaf and lands on my nose. Rain? It's been a while since it's rained, isn't it? I turn to glance at Fritz. He has been leaning against a tree for the past half hour, keeping a lookout for danger while I read. Amazing, isn't it? Even in summer, we have these rainy days. He glances up at the sky and cocks his head, a soft smile on his lips. Have I ever told you that I love the rain? No, I had no idea. I pick up both the lantern and the book and stand up. My gaze flickers briefly to the 4 gravestones lined up in a row. Garland, Laura, Parfait, and Mother. I've already set little lilies on all 4, as I do every month. Fritz always accompanies me here on these days. Oftentimes, he stands guard from somewhere near me in a melancholy look on his face. Well, now you know. When I was a child and my father wasn't home, I used to run outside and catch raindrops on my tongue. He always scolded me for it. He said I'd catch a cold. It's hard to imagine a time when Alcasser was worried for his son. Alcácer, the previous commander of the Order of Caldera, and Fritz father, has been banished from Angel for more than 2 years. No one has seen him since he disappeared. I just remember him being killed on waltz. Sometimes, I wonder if Fritz ever wishes to see him again. But considering everything that's happened between them, I thought the reunion would be a happy one. I turned my thoughts back to our conversation. And did you ever catch a cold? Yes, more than a few times. Enjoying those sick days, though. My father would begrudgingly make me tea, and the two of us would talk about his adventures as a knight. Those were good days. Besides, I feel like an old man when I reminisce like this. I poke Fritz in his shoulder with a teasing smile. Because 23 is old? Oh my god, he's younger than me! Oh my god, these people have been calling 20-year-old people old since the first game. It is only 23. I'm here turning 20. Ancient in the eyes of a child. He takes my hand as another droplet lands on my hand. The slight chill in the air gives me more reasons to saddle up to him. Press myself to his side and smile when he wraps an arm around my waist. It takes the lantern from me and holds it up to light our way through the forest clearing. The two of us are at the outskirts when he turns to me. Do you mind if I escort you to the palace and meet up with you later, princess? What did you just call me? Sorry, the title just comes so naturally. Anyway, would that be alright with you, Diana? And where we will be going? I need to do some cleaning at the manor. Then after that, I need to gather a few materials for Jurian. I glance up at the sky again. I'm able to see it more clearly though. The canopies now. It looks cloudier than darker. The rain has picked up. My family has dinner with some extimate guests tonight. If I run that errand with Fritz, there is a possibility I'll get caught in the rain and show plates. Wait, are those guests Carmondy's brother? Though my presence is not required, it might be better for me to be there. I pause, consider the warmth of Fritz at my side and falter. But being beside him like this is nice, especially because he has been so busy lately. Oh, don't do this to me, girl. Not between responsibility and love. But I think it's pretty obvious, the bad one. I still have my duties. I cannot shirk them. Especially now, with the kingdom the way it is. Fritz smiles at me. I'll be there soon, Diana. We'll be there soon, Diana. He lowers the lantern as we pass through the trees. I notice his eyes catch on some movement not too far from us. But it is only a couple heading on into the forest, hand in hand. I notice Fritz's eyes stay on them long after they have returned their backs on us. Fritz? I am taken aback by the sadness in his eyes. When he notices me looking at him, he shakes his head and continues walking. Sorry, I just got distracted. He holds me a little tighter as we make our way back to the palace. Fritz drops me off at the entrance and kisses me on the hand before excusing himself. Only moments after he leaves, I run into one of the king's counselors, who speaks with me about some of the new regulations brought up in today's council meeting. After Counselor takes his leave, I'm alone in the corridor. I become aware of the distant sound of thunder. Thunder? I wonder if there will be a storm. I'm on my way to the dining hall when Emmeline suddenly appears from around the corner.
Oh, just in time, Diana.
Are tonight's guests here yet?
About that.
Are they late?
Actually, they won't be able to come at all.
She points at the sky. Thunder rumbles in the distance.
They sent out a letter earlier saying that they were worried about brewing storm. They've rescheduled dinner.
So return for nothing?
All of us will be having dinner at the usual hour. Will Sir Fritzgerald be joining us tonight?
No, he's running an errand. Emmeline glances at the sky again and sighs.
Not the best date for errand running, is it? I hope the storm doesn't keep him.
It is not yet storming in this area. I'm sure Fritz will be fine. If only I had gone with him. I would have been able to spend more time with him. What?
You have that look on your face. The one you get every time you think about Fritzgerald.
I was not...
You could always have a couple of nights escort you to his home. Maybe you'll even run into him in town.
Did I say something strange? No, I'm just surprised that you would suggest this after what happened. Emmeline furrows her eyebrows.
But the kidnappers have been detained, haven't they? And you obviously want to see Sir Fritzgerald.
Oh my god, her angry face.
Oh, don't worry. I'll tell everyone where you are, Diana.
Emmeline is making it difficult for me to say no. After a few moments, I release a sigh and offer a small smile. Thank you, Emmeline. I turn on my heels and quickly begin to make my way through the town. The rain is still only a little drizzle when I leave the palace, but I can hear thunder close by. The hair is colder now and hangs on my shoulders like a cloak. It is freezing. Everywhere I look, people are fleeing indoors. But right now, walking in this frigid rain, I envy them. I ought to have taken a carriage, but I did not want to waste time waiting for the servants to bring one out in this weather. Thought I have an umbrella. It is not a good shield against the rain. Clearly, I underestimated Angel weather. I shudder as I tromp through the streets. Though the knights behind me keep their distance, they stay closer to me than usual. No doubt they are trying to be more vigilant after what happened a few days ago. Eventually, I stop the manor. I step up onto the front door and knock. Fritz startles when he opens the door and sees me. Diana? He eyes the knights behind me, and after a succinct conversation and polite dismissal, the knights leave us. Fritz leads me inside his home with a worried look on his face. You look freezing. Do you want a blanket? No, I'm fine. I just need to soak in this heat for a short while. And your clothing? I looked down at my clothes, which are drier than I had expected. It was the cold that was terrible, not the rain. You'll dry quickly. Alright, if you're certain. Fritz worry eases into curiosity as I take a seat at his table. What brings you to the manor? The plans that I had were cancelled, so I thought I would come here and spend some time with you. I glanced around the quiet living room. This place was silent before, and it has not changed for over the years. I cannot help but feel nostalgic every time I am here. Were you busy? Even if I was, I would always make time for you. He stands with a gentle smile. I'm glad you came back. I was just thinking about how busy we've both been lately, and I wanted to spend more time with you. He pauses to consider. How about some warm tea for the cold weather? That would be nice, thank you. Alright, give me a few moments then. He's on his way to the kitchen when he stops and glances over his shoulder. Feel free to make yourself at home. He disappears into the kitchen, leaving me by myself. When he's gone, I am aware of how absolutely still the manor is. The only sounds I hear are coming from inside. I make my way to the window and stare outside baffled. It is pouring, the streets are mostly empty, filled with nothing but deep puddles. No wonder it is so quiet. I turn away from the window and begin to wander around the living room. Not much has changed since I first came here 2 years ago. The house is still impersonal, even when it belongs only to Fritz. At least, that is what I think. But as I am looking around, I came across a small framed illustration that does not look familiar to me. Aww. It is a small portrait, but a woman featured in it makes me pause. Her hair is white as a cloud, her eyes a soft brown. Her smile is gentle and reminds me of Fritz. I pick the frame with portraits up and flip it over. There are words written on the back in a cursive slant. Read them aloud. My wife, you are the sun and I the world. I hope that I can continue to bask in your warmth the rest of my days. The signature beneath takes me by surprise. Alcaster. Oh my god, I jump scared by that. I face the kitchen, my heart beating irritably in my chest as I set the portrait down. I am even more surprised when I notice Fritz standing behind me, holding a simple tray with a single teacup on it. His eyes stray on the floor, and I follow his gaze to see another teacup turned over and broken. Are you okay? Fritz lets out a nervous laugh. I'm fine, Diana. I was just a clumsy misstep. He sets the tray down on the table, walks off, and returns with materials to clean up the shattered cup and spill a tea. When he's done, Fritz gestures absently at the remaining teacup. Though he is smiling at me, his gaze seems far away. He looks shaken. I took the teacup from him with some worry. Sorry about that. You can have that cup. I will go make myself another. I cradle the cup of tea in my hand and gingerly take a sip. The tea is warm and soothing. It helps relieve some of the tension in my body. What do you think? He needs a tea more than me. Reese, you need a tea more than me. So Thank him for it, dear. I'm glad you liked it. I thought it would be good for the cold. I'll be back in a few minutes. He walks off to prepare another cup for himself. When he returns, my own tea has become lukewarm. Lukewarm, I don't know how to say that. I have not been able to stomach it after Fritz left the room. Probably need this tea a lot more than I do. I hope it helps him relax. Don't worry, there won't be any incidents this time. He sets He sets the teacup down to the table. Careful down on the table. I notice his hand is shaking as he slides into a chair. Fritz? Begins to sip from the cup. I am relieved when some of the tension falls away from his body. No, never mind. It is nothing. I glanced back at the portrait that I had picked up earlier. My knowledge, that portrait has never been displayed in this room. That wasn't here before, was it? No, I just recently put it out. Found it in my father's room and decided to display it in here. Fritz eyes a portrait with a sorrow. So profound it makes my heart ache. I don't really remember my mother's face, but I know that was her the moment I saw her face. I'm sorry, I reacted so strangely when he picked it up. My mind went blank when he read those words aloud. It's been a while since I've read them. For a few moments, Fritz's eyes are far away. One of his hands forms a fist as he looks suddenly down to the table. When he said my father's name, it says, it's hard, sometimes. Remember my father is someone who could actually love. His words on the back of the portrait remind me of the man he would to be. Fritz and his father never seemed to get along. I never knew how terrible their relationship was until I learned that Alcazar was the one who cursed Fritz. He might not have been the one to cast the magic, but he was the one that gave the commands. And that is worst. And the bad treated his son, he gave him a punch on the stomach. I always doubted Alcazar loved Fritz. How could he, when he was the one who to curse him? Fritz leans back in his chair, a defeat expression on his face. You know? Sometimes I think I've become exactly like him. Like my father, I mean. I stare at him uncomprehending. What? Fritz, you are nothing like Alcazar. Are you sure? I used to believe that all knights were righteous, and that the citizens of Angia were flawlessly kind-hearted. My father told me that was a naive notion, and I always judged him for being so critical of people. I strove to prove him wrong, and now I think I understand what he meant when he said that people abuse kindness. His expression is as dark and gloomy as the weather outside. People are always looking for someone to hate. They hide it behind smiles and pleasantries, but it's in the shadows they plot and scheme and blame their hardships on others. He looks up at me, and I can tell that he's referring to the witches who kidnapped me 3 days ago. It's just me? Or this route is touching more sensitive topics than the others did. Witches, fairies, humans, they're all the same. They're all convening in their own ways. No matter who or what they are. It sounds like mother. You give them some power and they abuse it. You show them kindness and they walk all over you. People only bow their heads to those they fear. It breaks off suddenly. His hands are shaking, but with that weather, From rage or shock, I cannot tell. Abruptly, he looks away. See? It sounds exactly. Whoopsie. It sounds exactly like something my father would say. Something his father would say, or something Var would have said. As Fritz really felt that way all this time. I do not know what happened to Alcacer to make him so bitter, the death of his wife. I do not know what happened to make him despise all those around him, but I do know about Fritz's circumstances. I know he has been pressured for a very, very long time. I know that he has given far more than he has ever received. And I know that sometimes he forces a smile on his face to hide his true feelings. I used to think Fritz was relentlessly optimistic, but the last 2 years have changed him. I walk over to him. He's still staring down at the table when I wrap my arms around his neck from behind. Huh? You don't like Fritz? Really? I don't want to be like him. His voice is just a whisper. You are not like him. Your father allowed hatred to consume his life, but he battled the compulsion relentlessly. He was pessimistic about everything, but you hide your negative feelings away in the hope that you can overcome them. You are strong, Fritz. Strong enough to shoulder your own burdens and to still carry mine on your back as well. You are the strongest person I know. Can you at least tell me why? I plant a kiss on the top of his head. Every time you feel like this, please come talk to me. I tell you about my concerns, and I want you to be able to speak to me too. I pull away so that I can face him. Because, I remember Mara loving him. Mara loved him and how he set the boundaries and didn't cross our boundaries or his. And I feel like he still does that. Him? Oh my god. Just because of that. Just because of that. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. It's only like that to enemies and criminals. Is not like that with others. They give other redeems. Let me help you the same way you have helped me. Fritz looks up. Our eyes connect. The smile on his face does not reach his eyes. Some knight in shiny armor, am I? I can't even remain optimistic for my princess. Oh? I was wondering the expression that you are no longer a knight. I was under the impression that you are no longer a knight. The expression falls even further at that, and I immediately regret my words. I know that there is more on Fritz's mind than he's telling me. I know, however, that he will not share any of it. Fritz always shuts down when he thinks he is inconveniencing to me. The atmosphere in the room is heavy, and the rain does not help the mood any. It is impossible to cheer Fritz up in such a dismal place. I look up and focus on the rain drumming on the window pane. At first, my mind is blank, filled with nothing but the soft sounds of the rain. Then suddenly an idea occurs to me. I stand and flash a smile at Fritz. I'm going outside. Hmm? Wait, Diviana. I step outside before he can stop me. The moment I step outside, the rain cools my skin. It is coming down so heavily my dress is soaked in mere minutes. Diviana, what are you doing? Fritz stands in the doorway, staring at me owlishly. He looks equal parts confused and amazed. I turn and laugh. What is it, old man? Are you afraid you'll get wet if you follow me out here? Fritz is gaping at me. He looks like a fish out of water, which makes me laugh even harder. I prefer this look to the frown he was wearing earlier. Now, if only I could get him to smile. Of course not. But Diviana, you're going to get soaked. I think it's a little too late for that, Fritz. I turn and begin to walk. Fritz chasing after me. The splashing steps. There is no one out in the rain. I do not have to worry about being approached. I break into a run. I have no idea how far I can get before Fritz closes the distance between us, but I feel that I need to get him away from that house. Inside, he becomes trapped with memories of people who are lost to him. He allows sadness to consume him. The shopping sound. Diviana, where are you going? I dunk into an opening between the trees. My footsteps do not shatter the quiet reverie of the forest. In fact, the forest feels even more peaceful beneath the steady downpour. It is not long before I hear Fritz behind me. I have only just stuck beneath the branches of a looming tree when I feel his hand on my back. I turn and I am shocked when I see the crooked grin on his face. I find myself backing into the tree before I can help it. Fritz draws closer and closer, until that grin is mere inches away from my face. Well, he is close enough that I can feel his breath on my cheeks. I shudder, and I am not entirely sure if it's because of the rain or Fritz's expression. Looks like you've been caught, Miss Runaway. His smirk is short-lived. It soon fades into a frown so cold it makes my heart sink. What will you do now? How do you plan on escaping? I can see something in Fritz's eyes, something I've seen before, a challenge. I try throwing myself against him, but Fritz quickly stops my movement by pressing himself closer to me. I gasp, suddenly aware of the warmth of his body. Even beneath the soaked clothes, it radiates a lulling heat. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to pronounce that. I look up at him with determination, but falter when I notice the emptiness in his eyes. Run trails down his skin, making it looks as if there are tears coursing down his cheeks. Fritz? He sets his head on my shoulder. He is so close. I can feel his heartbeat reverberating through my body. Diviana, I can't lose you. Fritz? Slowly, his fingers fall away from my wrist. He raises his head slightly. but his voice is nothing but a whisper. Someone trapped you like this in an alley. If you weren't able to take out the dagger in time, if you were kidnapped and I wasn't with you. Takes a deep, shaky breath. Wait, was that how his mother died? If anything ever happened to you, I would never forgive myself. I cannot help but recall what Fritz said about the dagger he gave me. He told me that it was his mother's, that the day she died, she did not take it with her. Was his mother killed? I think back to Fritz's anxiety, to the faraway look in his eyes when he discussed his father and mother. Understand, not completely, but put my hands on Fritz's chest and slowly, gently, push him away so that I can look into his eyes. You will never lose me. Hold his gaze with confidence. My friends died so that I could continue to hope for a better world. Those of us who survived have the obligation to keep that dream alive. I believe in you, Fritz, so please, believe in me. Fritz breathes out softly. Once again, I feel the warmth of his breath on my cheeks. I continue to look at him, waiting. Finally, the silence breaks and he smiles at me softly. It is a small and fragile smile. The honesty in it is relieving. You really are something else, Diviana. Wait, this is his old position. He pulls a strand of white hair from my face and cups my face in his hand. Yes, I trust you. He bridges the gap between us in a heartbeat. This is a really pretty action. This is actually really pretty. Oh my god, this is actually really pretty. Our lips meet, and despite the bitter cold and the hair around me, I am suddenly warm. I do not protest when he slides his hand down the length of my back and why did they have to ruin it? I'm concerned in reading. Our kiss, which starts small and hesitant, eventually grows deeper, bolder. The feeling of the rain on my skin fades completely as I focus on the sensation of his lips against my arm, on the comforting, unstable press of his body. When Fritz finally pulls away from me, the mischievous smile is enough to send a shudder of anticipation coursing through me. Strange, I could have sworn you weren't a witch anymore, and yet I have the distinct feeling you've put me under a spell. He twines his fingers through mine with a smile. Have you had enough of this rain? So long as you are feeling better, yes. After that, who wouldn't? I nudge him in the shoulder, but he just laughs merrily. Let's return before you catch a cold. The two of us make our way back through the forest and toward his home. I hope Mocha doesn't appear too. Because I think 2 weeks ago, when it was still safe, Mocha raided and things, and I was like, yeah, okay, it's fine. And now things are kind of escalating a little bit too fast, in some aspects. So I hope it's... Once we are back inside, Fritz releases my hand and shakes his head, scattering raindrops over the floor. Despite our best efforts to dry ourselves, we both still make puddles on the floor. Fritz claps a hand on my shoulder. His touch, even through the fabric of my clothes, sends electricity coursing through my body. I can prepare a bath for you, princess. That should help warm you up. Oh, sorry, I mean Diviana. I would prefer you keep me warm. I can do this. This is going too fast comparing to the other two, and previous game had nothing of this. I'm not mentally ready to do this on stream. I'm not mentally ready to read this on stream. Things on this route are escalating pretty fast. I'm concerned where this is going to end. The words are slippery and are out of my mouth before I can regret them. Yeah, you should. Fritz stares at me, looking equal parts flustered and shocked. No, don't do that to me. Oh, no, I already... And slowly these lips begin to curl into a smile. I knew it. Is that an... Oh, no. No, please help, please no. No. Oh, this is going too fast. I need, man, I love it and I really enjoyed it for it. So let me just, um, how do I escalate? No. Get warm. And this is only chapter 2. Why? 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 I need. I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I'm putting this on the title of the stream. I don't know anymore. I'm concerned. I'm not ready for it. Like, I'm not ready for this. In the first two routes I played, yes, there was a little bit of spice here and there, like especially with Rod in the end, but like there was a little bit here and there. With these two, it's from the beginning to the end, like. I'm concerned about Karma's and Walt's routes now. I'm concerned. Yes. Oh, yeah. I fear this. Well then, as you command, oh no. He slides behind me and plants a kiss on the nape of my neck. Then, before I can react, he picks me up and walks toward his bedroom with a cocky smile on his face. I'm really afraid what's. This is actually a lot more convenient. I was wondering where I was going to find you a change of clothes, but now it looks like I needn't worry. He pushes the door of the bedroom open with his foot and walks me inside, into a quiet and gentle darkness, punctuated only by the soft rattle of the rain against the windows. The two of us spent some time in each other's company, lying close enough together to stay warm in the cold and silent home. By the time I return to the palace, the cold has abated, and I am filled with a lingering and hopeful warmth. Wow, the transition is between his bedroom and our bedroom. Nice! Oh my god, what is going on? Thank you for the tea, Viviana. I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to take note of this. Oh, the pen isn't writing. It was written. It was writing like minutes ago. Okay. Fritz is holding a cup of tea that I bought for him a little less than a week ago. I brewed it this morning because I finally had some time on my hands and knew Fritz would be visiting. It's my pleasure, Fritz. It's nice to be able to do something for him, especially when he is usually the one making tea for me. He sets the teacup down on my desk with a smile. I would have probably slept the night away in his arms if not for the fact that I suspected the palace guard would come looking for me if I did not return. Fritz and I walked back to the palace the first opportunity we got, but that did not stop my family from worrying. Ever since that day, Fritz has been sleeping in his room at the palace. Whether to be closer to me or to avoid going back to his home, I'm not sure. Perhaps it is both. Fritz leans against my desk with a smile, calm and collected as usual. I don't have much time before I have to meet with the king, but you called me here because you had a special request, right? What can I do for you? I sit up a little straighter on my bed, hoping that my gaze holds nothing but resolve. I want Fritz to take my next words seriously. What are we going to say? With how things are going, I fear whatever is coming next. Oh, is it about his mother? Oh no, that's not good either. I have been thinking about this ever since he gave me the dagger. Fritz, I would like you to teach me something. Teach you something? Okay, so this is too easy and too obvious. It's like when Rumpel asked us, "Oh, yes, I'm a nice sitter, aren't I, Vivian?" And we had to speak between flirting and medicine. So, like, we were just talking, like, he gave us a dagger for us to defend ourselves. So that's obvious, the answer. So I'm confused. Perhaps that wasn't the best way to phrase that. Knights are adept at not only fighting and protecting, but at invasion, are they not? They are thought to be inconspicuous. Fritz raised his eyebrows. The twinkle of amusement in his eyes makes me flush. Is that not correct? Fritz laughs. To an extent, yes. Knights are thought to be inconspicuous in the manner, but it's a little difficult to be with the shining armor. When we protect others, we have to make ourselves apparent to others so we can drive back threats, but... Well, I guess I do have some experience hiding in the shadows. Oh no, it's Varg coming. Varg is coming down. Varg is coming out. But why do you want to learn about that? If I know how to hide myself, I may be able to get out of difficult situations with more ease. Learning how to hide could help save my life. Fritz looks at me thoughtful. Though I agree that invasion is important. Remaining inconspicuous would be difficult for you, wouldn't it? He has a point. Because I'm the princess, it would be difficult for me to hide like the knights do. What if I taught you basic defense? That might lead into tips for evasion, and maybe, if you're still interested, hiding. He grins when I blush. Is it so wrong to envy Fritz's ability to blend into his surroundings? We'll do our practice in the forest. There you can learn both invasion and defense. He stands up and When he raises his eyebrow, I can see familiar confidence, a challenge, sparkling in his eyes. He steps forward and plants a kiss back on my lips. I'm looking forward to see you triumph. I will triumph, I promise. I believe it. Fritz offers me one last smile before excusing himself to run the day's errands. The shadow of a memory. The dining hall is lively this morning, filled with the voices of chattering family. The four of them have been discussing some kind of upcoming ball, but my thoughts are elsewhere. No matter how hard I try, I cannot dispel the image of the raining rain running down Fritz's cheeks like tears. Fritz was smiling by the end of the night. This sadness still seems not to linger. I have to find some way to help him overcome it, but how? Viviana? Viviana. Rose's voice is loud enough to break me from my reverie. I look at him, startled. He just rolls his eyes before going back to his breakfast. The trick, Em, is to say her name loudly enough to startle her out of her thoughts.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
I grumble as the two of them exchange a smile. Do you need me for something? I wanted your opinion on the team for the upcoming ball, dear. My opinion? I do not care what sort of team it is. Milan and Ophelia are better at planning these elaborated affairs anyway. You at least need to give us your opinion on the finalized concepts. I wait for Ophelia to list ideas. In the end, I consent to a mixed floral team. Ophelia thinks it would be nice for the summer. It hardly matters. The nobleman and ladies will come regardless because it is a royal ball. Later, when the conversation dwindles and the food is finished, the servants begin to clear breakfast from the table. That reminds me of a council meeting later in the day before excusing himself. Ophelia is quick to follow, saying she needs to work on plans for the ball. I'm left with Emmeline and Rod.
So, how is Fritzgerald doing?
Fine, I think.
You think?
He has been extraordinarily busy. I had thought his resigning would mean no more obligations, but he still has many loose ends to tie up.
I hope he can have breakfast with us again soon.
Is something wrong? I was just thinking about the last time he had breakfast with us.
Oh.
For a few moments, the dining hall is quiet, save for the clatter of plates and utensils as the kitchen staff remove them from the table. Last time Fritz was here, he managed to accidentally impale the table with a fork and knock over a platter of fruit. He also nearly hit a man in the head with a spoon. Oh my goodness.
Well, it's a funny memory to look back on.
How did he manage to throw the spoon backwards at one of the servants? It slipped off his hands. Hi Ace, how are you? I'm not senpai. But you are the sensei. I can't do this with this game. Crap. Okay. 5 minutes. Let me put the timer. Obrigada a esse pelo redeem. 5 minutos português. Ninguém percebe nada. Yay! Ah, é memorável como o Fritz consegue ser tão compostamente e extremamente desastrado no outro. Eu lembro-me que ele disse que estava extremamente cansado nesse dia, mas. É Milene rir. Como é que eu faço isto?
Sir Fritzgerald é maravilhoso.
I hate this voice. Oh. Só tão mal em português. Ele é. Desde esse incidente. E proporcional. Ai, como é que eu digo? Ele evita. Ele evita ser convidado para tomar o pequeno almoço de propósito. Eu clarei a minha garganta. Bem, eu tenho algumas tarefas para fazer esta manhã com o Fritz. Então eu vou desculpar-me primeiro, mais cedo. Emily Rod. Look. This is bugging my brain. Emily Rod. Ambos olham para mim, confusos. Tarefas? Oh my god. Tarefas pessoais. Diz ao pai que eu vou estar de volta a tempo da reunião do conselho. Nós os três trocamos adeus antes de eu a prosseguir. Não! I will go until the end. I will do the 5 minutes. I don't care. I'm just struggling because my brain has been bugging between English and Portuguese. E aqui estamos. Depois de deixar a sala de jantar, eu vou para os portões da frente e encontro o Fritz. Que já está. Já lá estava depois das 10. Comprometido. Ele passeia comigo até ao limite da floresta. Com mais 3 guardas de confiança. Quando chegamos à clareira, e diz aos guardas para ir embora. Hoje é o dia em que ele me ensina a defender-me. Há alguma razão para a qual trouxeste outro cavaleiros contigo? Para ficar de olho no perímetro. Só para o caso. Ele é cauteloso como sempre. Ele agarra na minha mão e guia-me até aos troncos de árvore. Minha dama? Ele faz uma vénia e senta-se. Eu sorri para ele. Lord Fritzgerald? Eu sorri quando ele cora. até agora. Eu acho que ninguém, para além dos guardas que ele treina, sabem do seu novo título. Okay, it's done. Oh my god, my brain was so buggy and I had to read first and then translate because I tried to translate while reading and my brain was just like, no. He coughs to clear his throat. I'll give you the rules of our exercise before we start. Rules? Yes. The goal is to keep me from touching you by any means necessary. The only thing you aren't allowed to use is the dagger. Thank you. I like to fulfill what I have to. He glances at the small pocket on my dress. I never told him I had it in my pocket. How did he know? Well, we'll have to use the dagger later, when we become more accustomed to its weight, but for now... He takes a step forward, between one step and the next. A wolfish grin appears on his face. Hello, Varg. How have you been? You are going to hide and run, and do whatever it takes to get away from me, because in this exercise, I'll be hunting you. Hunting? The look on his face reminds me of the smirk he was wearing the first episode. It is a smile that will always remind me of Varg. Tiziana? He looks at me concerned. Too much? No. Oh my god, this music is so loud, what the heck? I can't hear me. This is the normal... What the heck? No, I was just thinking about something. I stand from the tree stump with renewed resolve. I'm ready. Good, this is just a test run, so no pressure. Just do what you think is instinctively best, and we'll work on your lesson from there. I have not done something like this since I was a child. Only back then, the running was nothing more than a game. I clench my hands into fists and nod. Remember to stay in the forest, Iviana. I take a few steps back, waiting for him to signal. Much to my surprise, Fritz only closes his eyes and crosses his arms. I'll give you a 10 seconds head start. Immediately begins counting down after that, and without another thought, I turn on my heels and run. I run as fast as my legs can take me, doing my best to weave through the forest bramble as quietly as I can. Eventually, the sound of counting stops. I hear Fritz take one step, then another, and then he is running into the forest after me. My heartbeat picks up as he draws near. Even though it is Fritz, I cannot stop myself from shaking. What should I do? Oh no, it's a three choice. We don't do three choices here. No, let me search. Oh, it's such a lot of no, oh my god. Okay, so height is the right one, so we'll pick just like continue running. I need to put as much distance between us as possible. I continue running, this time in the opposite direction. I try to be as quick as I can. I possibly can. But I prioritize speed over stealth. If someone were chasing me in the forest, I would have no choice but to run and try to lose them. I turn again when I hear Fritz's footsteps quicken behind me. He's so fast. I meander my way into another pathway. My legs are burning and my heart is pounding so hard it is difficult to breathe. I glance behind me and nearly scream when I see Fritz right behind me. I do the first thing I can think of. I pull a loose branch from the tree and turn to face him. Fritz, who is nowhere near out of breath, approaches me quietly. Fritz immediately goes on the offensive, reaching out to grab me as I shrink away. I hold a branch out up in front of me like a shield. Clever. He stalks just out of range, his footsteps quiet as he circles me. It almost feels like an animal toying with his prey. I'm so busy watching Fritz's movement that I do not notice when he suddenly pivots in my direction. I take a step back, but come back with the tree trunk. I hold up my branch, but it is useless. Fritz grabs the branch with one hand and leans forward to plant a kiss on my forehead. Oh, that's cute. Got you. Oh, that was cute. I sigh as I let the tree branch fall from my hand. Anyway, now that the exercise is over, let's move on to the fancy, shall we? For the next hour, Fritz teaches me the defensive stances. He shows me how to react in certain situations, including ones that are similar to my capture in the hallway. Coming the end of the hour, he has taught me about how to break out of someone's grip. The first method involves pulling back on someone's thumb, and the second involves pulling down on their forearm. I'm about to ask him to demonstrate one of the holds when I stop, realizing the time. It is one step ahead of me. You have to be getting back now, don't you? Some meeting with the counselors? I nod my head with a sigh. My attendance at these meetings is necessary, not only because I will be queen someday, but because father insists I know the various counselors personally. I'll be back then. He offers his arm, and I allow him to lead me back into the palace. The council meeting goes on longer than expected. By the time the counselors are finally excused, and it is just father and I in the room, I am exhausted. I fall back in my seat with a soundless sigh. Father smiles at me from his seat. Exhausting, isn't it? I nod. It is no wonder you are always so tired. The more meetings you attend, the easier it will become to participate in them. Father's eyes are empty thrones in the room, with a fond smile on his face. It is at times like this that I am most grateful for family. I look at him, curious. He simply inclines his head. It is always easier to shoulder your burdens if you have loved ones there to pick you up. Before I shunned others and refused to let myself be part of a family. I did not think I ever needed to depend on anyone. Now I realize that depending on others is not a weakness but a strength. I allow myself to lean on my family, on Fritz. I hope Fritz feels comfortable doing the same with me. Viviana? I look up at my father. How are things going between you and Lord Fritzgerald? They're fine. Why do you ask? Perhaps it is not my place to ask, but have you spoken with him recently about what he plans to do after his retirement paperwork is complete? It hasn't mentioned anything to me, but I do not want Father to worry needlessly about our relationship. He has spoken about it some. Oh, I'm glad. He seemed at a loss when I spoke to him the other day. Strange. I wonder why Fritz brought this up to Father and not to me. I have no doubts you'll help him figure out something. I said abruptly. I may, Father. Do you mind if I excuse myself for a couple of hours? I have another meeting later, and I would like to enjoy my break while I still can. Of course. Thank you for your hard work, Viviana. Father offers a cordial nod as I leave the throne room. No sooner have I walked out in the corridor than a person steps in front of me, effectively blocking my path. Good afternoon, Viviana. I stumble back in surprise. Fritz smiles apologetically. Sorry, I thought I'd wait out here for you. Where were you even hiding? Hiding? I wasn't hiding. I was just standing right outside the door. How did I miss him? Fritz's eyes glimmer as he leans toward me. Are you free now? For a few hours. I'm assuming you want to go somewhere? I always want to go somewhere with you, Diana. But yes, if you have the time, I'd like to take you out to town tonight. There's something I'd like to see. Then by all means, please lead on. Fritz takes my hand and begins to lead me down the corridor. As we approach the gates, I recall that Father said in the throne room and pause, considering. He said that Father discusses something about the future with him, something he has not yet told me. Is there a reason he does not want to say anything to me? Viviana, is something on your mind? I'm going to ask him about the future because it's something he didn't tell us, but with time he's going to tell us. My father brought up something interesting earlier. Interesting? He said he spoke to him about the future, that you were at a loss for what to do after you retire. Much to my surprise, I can see a sliver of irritation on Fritz's expression. Is that true, Fritz? You know you are more than welcome to speak to me about anything. I came to you with my own concerns about being queen all the time. Don't take offense, Viviana, but I don't really want to talk about it right now. Fritz, it's a bit of a disheartening topic, and I'd rather discuss it later. He looks at me, his sadness melting into concern. Would that be alright with you? Of course, but please, Fritz, I want to help you. I hope you remember that. Fritz nods at me. I know, and I appreciate your concern, Diana. I'll discuss it later, I promise. Excuses my hand as we head out the gates and into town. Fritz takes me to the edge of the main plaza, where a large crowd is already gathered. I nod my head politely as the town folks meet my gaze. What is happening here? Fritz smiles. You'll see, it's a surprise. He leads me to the front of the crowd. I direct my attention to the central objects of attention, a large stand. Behind it stands a man I recognize. Is it Waltz? Hello, Waltz. How are you? Hello, everyone. My name is Waltz, and today I'll be telling you all a story. I had no idea Waltz had a show planned for today. Waltz begins his show with the practice is of a long-time performer. Today he has puppets, and he's sitting behind his stand and using them to act out a scene. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a little witch. The little witch had a best friend who happened to be a human girl. Oh. The story goes on with Waltz playing both of the characters. It is a short about a witch who does magic for her friends every day. But then one day, magic disappears. The little witch no longer has any magic with which to impress her friends. For some time, the little witch is ostracized. She feels alone and sad because she no longer possesses the thing she thought made her special. But at the end of the story, the little witch friends returned. The little witch friends told her that even if she could no longer use magic, that didn't mean her magic was gone. She still had magic. One of the puppets points at the other. Magic that was in the art. He smiles. And regardless of the magic that used to exist, we all have magic in our hearts. That is why, even today, the little witch and her friends can live happily ever after. I'm surprised by the loud applause. The people like this story. It is hard to believe after hearing what my captors said to me. They made it sound as if witches were being discriminated against. I turned to look at Fritz, who is applauding with everyone else. I thought you needed to see this. You're not the only one trying to pick up the pieces from 2 years ago, Diana. You're not in this alone. Fritz. The applause dies away as some of the children rush forward to bombard Waltz with questions. Most people did not know Waltz was a witch until he publicly announced it 2 years ago. He did it hoping it would help ease tensions between the humans and the witches. Fritz leans over and grabs my hand. He pulls me away from the crowds and to the outskirts of the plaza. Once we were safely outside of the area, he turns to me again, one hand on his hip. I was in town earlier when I heard about Sir Walt's show. I knew that I had to bring you here. Thank you, Fritz. I don't know, Fritz still thinks of me first. He's the most dedicated person I know. Eventually the crowds begin to dissipate. Waltz, who is in the middle of taking down his stall, pauses when he notices Fritz and I. Princess, Sir Fritzgerald. He walks toward us with a bright smile. It is nice to see you again, Waltz. Waltz bows. You too, Princess. Were you two here for the show? Fritz brought me here to see it. It was a good show with an interesting topic. I heard about a kidnapping. Rumors spread fast in Angel. I'm sorry, Princess. You do not need to apologize. Walt shakes his head. What the? I actually look grateful. You're bearing a guilt you don't deserve. What happened 2 years ago was Lady's parfait decision, not yours. Given the circumstances, it was the only thing that could be done. Exactly. All of us want to help where and when we can. Bridging the distance between humans and witches is the first step all of us can help with. I may not have my magic anymore, but that does not mean I have changed any. No, Waltz is still unflankingly optimistic. Both Waltz and Fritz are smiling at me. When my eyes catch Fritz, he takes my hand in his and gives it a gentle squeeze. He turns to look at Waltz. It was a great show, Sir Waltz. I was happy to see it. And I was glad the both of you could be here to see it. You ought to come to town more often. We will both try our hardest to do that. Waltz flashes us one last smile before returning to his booth. And to the children crowded around it, it sounds as if they are asking him to play a game. I turn to Fritz. We still have some time left. Do you want to take a stroll around town, or perhaps you'd like to rest? And part of me just really wants to speak to Fritz about what I heard earlier. I need to know that he's okay. Fritz is quiet for a few moments, as he considers. In the end, he asks if I would be okay accompanying him to his home for some tea. I nod my approval, and the two of us begin to make our way there. I sighed as Fritz sets the tray of tea down on the small table in front of us. It is at times like this, when we are sharing tea in your home, that I wonder if you really are an old man stuck in a young man's body. Diana, I'm offended. Despite his words, he still smiles as he plops down on the cushions beside me. And here I thought that he would make conversation more pleasant. Fritz glances at me after taking a sip of his tea. You wanted to talk, yes? Earlier I promised we would have this discussion. He looks at me somber. I actually was going to bring it up to you myself. I'm sorry I didn't mention it earlier. You don't need to apologize, Fritz. Maybe it would help to start at the beginning. Beginning? Have I ever told you why I decided to become a knight? No, you haven't. You were not forced into it, were you? I cannot help but think of the traitorous Alcacer, and of the enormous amount of pressure he always put on Fritz. I would not be surprised if Fritz had felt there was no choice but to follow in his father's footsteps. No, I wasn't. Fritz lowers his teacup and stares into it, his eyes filled with melancholy. Slowly, I slide toward him and lean my head on his shoulder. Back when I was a child, there was nothing I loved more than listening to my father talk about the night. Because he had such long days, I was usually stuck at home with the servants. They didn't interact with me much, so I was usually lonely up until the moment father returned home with his sword in hand. When he came back, he would tell me stories over dinner. He used to tell me the tales of knights in shining armor, of men who protected the kingdom with their lives. He told me about the noble consulars and of Angiel's honorable king. The picture he painted were filled with chivalry and heroism. For a few moments, Fritz is quiet, his eyes cloudy with memory. I loved him so much, and I was proud to be his son. That didn't change even when we grew distant. I'd always thought my father's dedication to putting the kingdom first was admirable. Later, when I decided I wanted to become a knight, my father trained me, even allowed me to use his own sword. The day he was made commander, we celebrated with this same tea. He draws away from me with a sigh. Suddenly, he looks stiff. Back then, everyone thought of me as his shadow. They said I had no individual aspirations, that I may as well have been a copy of my father. I think I proved them right when I followed in my father's footsteps and joined the knights, but he looks at me and smiles gently. I never let the cynicism get to me. When I learned that I was to become the princess' own personal knight, I didn't mind being compared to my father. All of my priorities shifted to you. I saw the way you closed people off, the way you were compared to your mother and I. He sighs as he picks up his tea. I understood because my whole life, I too had been compared to my father. But you never lived in your father's shadow. You always been your own person, Fritz. Maybe, but either way, the fact remains that for all those years, the only thing I have believed myself capable of was being your knight. I was happy to focus on my duties, because I had nothing outside of them. Fritz's shoulders sag. The truth is, Viviana, I'm terrified of what comes next. I'm nothing without my sword and armor. Those people were right. I aspired to be like my father. And even when he was gone, I took up his mantle as commander without complaint. I followed his footsteps exactly. And now that I gave it up, my responsibilities, I have only you. This is what I've been wanting for years, but he sinks even further into the cushions, his gaze for longer. Now that I'm no longer your personal knight, I have nothing to offer you, Viviana. His voice is small and weak. I love you so much that I'm not good enough for you. I have no plans for my future, nothing else that I can be beside your knight. What am I without my title? My whole life, I've been trying to live up to others' expectations. First my father's, then the king's, and now yours. And I have never been good enough. I set my tea down, so that I can look into his eyes. Fritz, that's not true. There is more to you than your past. You have the entire future ahead of you. You can be yourself without anyone ruling over your life. Fritz looks at me. The expression on his face is so gloomy, it makes my heart sink. Yes, and that terrifies me, because even am I, Diana? When I do not answer immediately, Fritz leans forward and grabs my hands. Do you know who I really am, Diana? Do you know what sort of person I am beneath all of those expectations? I am a selfish fool. Chris, I have known you for a long time, and a longer time than most people. I squeeze his hand and look at him confidently, unperturbed. No matter what side of yourself you show me, and no matter what you decide to do with your life, I will always support you. I will always love you. For a long moment, the two of us just stared at each other. Britt's expression is carefully blank, as if to conceal his emotions. May I ask you a question then? You have to promise me to answer truthfully. I promise. He hesitates, but only for a few seconds. Did you ever love Varg? What? The minute Fritz mentions the name, the present falls away from me. Can't make something from nothing. Some parts of your precious Fritz become me, princess. There was already something dark and twisted in his soul. The curse just brought it to life, and now here I am. I guess his emotions about you are too strong. He's rubbed off on me, and now I'm stuck caring about you too. Stupid. We both know who you'll choose when the time comes. Back then, I did not want Varg to exist, because if he did, he would drive away Fritz. Small dark parts of Fritz would overwhelm everything else that he was. That is what scared me most about Varg. Diviana? Mm-hmm. To be fair, we kind of hope for Varg first, so there is that. He also asked us to answer truthfully, and we fall for Varg first. Oh, the wrong answer. Did I say? So this is the wrong answer because we fall for Varg first. But Fritz is Varg, so we only love Fritz, but Fritz is talking about Varg like if it's another person, and we also talk about Varg like, this is brainstorming. No, this is like if they are two people, because the other is like, I love him. So Varg was part of you that was twisted by the fairy tale curse. All of his emotions stemmed from you. So even though I was thankful for some of the things Varg did, I could never have loved him. That is why I was so scared when Mitro said that Varg had the potential to take over your minds. I was scared I would lose you. Varg was only ever a fragment of who you were, a part of you that was brought to life by a curse you couldn't even control. What if he hadn't been? Hadn't been? Fritz pulls away with a sigh. What if I told you that, on the inside, a lot of Varg's selfish actions were my own? Do you believe me? Fritz always acted like Varg was a separate person, that he was fighting, but was there more in it than that? Actually, forget I said anything, princess. I do not even have time enough to reconsider my words before Fritz abruptly stands and turns to face me. I apologize for going off on a tangent. I get the impression that the tangent has yet to be adequately explored. Anyway, with that, you know a little bit more about my worries. I didn't plan on saying anything to you until I had come up with a more concrete plan, but... Concrete plan? Yes, a concrete plan for the future. I want to find something else I can be passionate about. Because outside of who and what I've been for the past of many years, I haven't had a lot of time to explore much else about myself. Fritz was always so busy with his duties. He has never prioritized his own hobbies. Come to think of it, what does Fritz do in his spare time? Could we not come up with a plan together? Together? Yes, perhaps we should come up with a list, and we can check off items on the list when we are able to do them. Cannot help but smile at Fritz confusion. You can list things you want to do or see, or things that you like. Then, whenever you have time, I can help you do or see those things. You have more free time on your hands, don't you? If that's the case, then we can both find a new future for you together. The deepest part of my heart, I cannot help but imagine Fritz sitting beside me on the throne. Yet, I'm realistic enough to know that this transition would not be easy. It takes two people to make that kind of momentous decision. Besides, Fritz is finally being given the chance to live the way he wants to. I do not want to take that freedom away by forcing him to yet another role. Perhaps if we could spend more time together, that sort of future will become a reality one day. What do you think? Fritz smiles at me. After a few moments, he holds out his hand and I put my hand in his and smile when he kisses the back of it. I accept your offer, beautiful Diana. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Oh, but before any of that, I point at his tea and raise my eyebrows. Finish your tea, Lord Fritzgerald, otherwise it will get cold. You know just as well as I that it's been cold for a while now. But if your Royal Highness commands it, then I'll show away. He plops back down on the couch and squats closer to me, close enough to wrap an arm around my waist. I spend the remainder of my free time at Fritz's side, wondering if there is anything I can do to help him beyond the assistance I have already offered. Varg is coming. Okay, and we end here today. That was a lot of reading. We did 3 chapters. And the first 2 were a little bit spicy. Okay, let's just see what to read. I think if we're starting in 15 minutes, I'm not mistaken. My pumpkin is on again. Yeah, let's read pumpkin. So the red mass will be buried. So here's the red master for who is sub, for who isn't sub, the red master will be this one. And we're reading pumpkin. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone who joined me today. I really appreciate it. I'll be back Sunday with more productive streams. So yeah, and Sunday we'll make more thumbnails. So see you all Sunday. Bye bye.